You go to work and come home. You go to work and come home.
We go sailing. Sail away with me and you will see what really matters and what don't mean a thing. Life is better than a dream when you're with me, and we'll go sailing.
What's up, gang fam? I'm Chris.
And I'm Mercedes.
And welcome to Building Boy. You already know we're here for advice, entertainment, and lifestyle.
And if you're new here, please be sure to make friends with that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you can always be first to see our videos and be a part of our GAM fam.
And if you're already part of our GAM family, you're welcome back then, baby.
Without further ado, let's jump right in. Today we will be discussing our first year of marriage and what the first year of marriage is like, what things were helpful for us, what things were not helpful, and sharing with you guys our top 10 tips. It was really important for us to have an intentional marriage. Every 13 seconds in America, someone gets divorced. That's 6,000 divorces a day. And so we took a lot of time in fostering our marriage beforehand and during, and we'd like to share some things that we learned, because I knew that we thought it was going to be something different than what it actually was. These are our top 10 things that we think were most helpful for us. They're in no particular order, and they're very specific to us and our relationship. So I hope that you find them equally as helpful.
Starting with number 1, make your house a home. I'll take this one. Coming out of high school, if you know about me, my mom passed my senior year, and after high school, I graduated. I went to college, and I made sure that my dorm, my living space, was comfortable for me to live in, and just to make sure that it felt like home. It really didn't hit me until our first, college break, where I had to go quote home, and I did not really, me personally, I feel like I didn't have a home to go to. So, this lovely woman here to my left, I used to always talk to her about my feelings about, having a home and making sure that I felt comfortable in the establishment that I was staying in. And that's something, as we got married, that Mercedes has, tried to incorporate within our household. And, from make sure everything was clean, making sure everything is, neat to a T, everything smelled good, all the dogs are good and everything. So I really appreciate you, girl. Love you.
So I think about making your house a home, from my perspective, it was just somewhere that had to be relaxing all the time. Somewhere that we come into and we never feel stressed about coming home. I've seen people say, oh, that sitting in your car right before you walk in is a different type of therapy. For us, the biggest therapy is when you get out the car and finally get into the house, because there's usually candles and there's music and there's dim lights and things that just make you feel really, really comfortable. Tip number 2 is to realize that 50-50 doesn't always mean 50-50. I know a lot of times in relationships you think, well, I do half and my partner does half, and we should always be at whole. But in reality, there are times where everyone needs help, and times where you're doing better than you're doing other days. And I would say your best is always changing. My best today might not be the best performance that I can give tomorrow at a different topic. So I think realizing that sometimes your partner might not be at their best, and that doesn't mean that you have to just do your 50. That makes it time for you to step up and do your part to help them out. So 50-50 is relative, and it might be 50-50 some days, and other days it's like 90-10. So you never know what it's going to be like.
Number 3, taking care of yourself and improving yourself. I'll take this one because personally, I had some issues before entering this marriage. Maybe some in regards to self-esteem, and maybe, some little, attitude adjustments. But I'm just being real with y'all.
Minor.
Just minor. But, taking care of myself, I weighed 300 plus pounds because I played defensive line at ETSU, and I told myself I want to live a long, healthy lifestyle, so I had to lose this weight. I had asthma and I couldn't breathe. I was walking around, I felt so sluggish. So, with Mercedes' help and with God's grace, I grinded in the weight room. I did different, diets, different weightlifting plans and everything. And luckily I lost 100 pounds, and, losing 100 pounds helped me boost my self-esteem. It also helped me, just be positive, and being positive with myself is what helped me contribute that positivity within our marriage. Improving myself, I can't necessarily say I improved myself. I must, give credit to Mercedes once again, because like I tell everybody, like she tell everybody, I'm not the same person that I was when I married Mercedes. I feel myself transforming every day. If you know Mercedes, she's a really positive person. She's always, she always has a smile on her face, and it could be 2 in the morning or it could be 10 o'clock at night. She's always gonna be there, and I feel her rubbing off on me almost every day.
It means that taking care of yourself means that you have to love yourself and be willing to do the things that you need to do to thrive so that you can give to someone else. I think that's really important for everyone to understand. Because I think a lot of us are just, I'm giving to my partner, and you have to do things that are for you so that you can be a good couple. Tip number 4, find a money system that works best for you guys. What works for someone else might not work for you. So what's important is finding something that works for both of you. Not that what your mama said they do or what your girlfriend says she did with her husband. It has to be something that works for you guys together.
Exactly.
So we did a lot of research beforehand. We've also been dating for a really long time, so we were discussing our finances from the beginning about how we wanted to save up for getting married. That was helpful in preparing us for marriage. So when we got married, we were kind of already on the same page, already had some things saved and planned. We went through a couple financial literacy courses. We read like 3 or 4 financial literacy books, and then we did 2 financial literacy devotionals. But I think you have to create something between the 2 of you that you're both able to stick to and work with.
Number 5, do not have others involved in your relationship. Coming from a guy's perspective, we always get advice. Advice is good. Are you ready, my brother? Are you sure, young man? Advice is good, but when you have conflicts in your relationship, make sure that you solve that problem with you and your significant other. You do not necessarily want people to be involved in your drama, because at the end of the day, your mess is your mess. Don't put nobody else in your mess. Just solve it and then move on from it. You know what I'm saying? So keep it that way.
The only person you should be including in your relationship in that area is either a counselor that you're seeing, if you guys choose to seek out counseling at some point in your relationship, or God.
Number 6, allowing each other to adjust in our first year of marriage. Oh, man, gosh. Okay, when Mercedes used to come to East Tennessee State, she used to always come and be like, "Ooh, I love you. I want to cuddle you. Oh, God. So she was all mushy-gushy. So coming into this marriage, moving in, I was like, you know what? I'm going to match that same energy. I did not get that. Instead, we had an argument. Yes, you guys, me and Mercedes argued. But going into, moving in with each other, I wanted to match that same energy. I was like, okay, I already know what to expect. Mercedes she want to be loved on. Yeah, come on, yeah. I did not get that. Instead, I got the devastating words of, I just like quiet time, and you're just always here.
But it's an adjustment, and I would just say, give each other time to figure that thing out. Figure out what they're going to be like and how you're going to react to things. But it was so new for us to always be together. And so Chris wanted something, and I wanted something, and our expectations weren't being met. And so we needed time for us both to level out.
Exactly.
Tip number 7, show your appreciation. That's something that I think is really important, is to speak life into your partner. They don't know what you're thinking. They are not mind readers. So to show them that you appreciate them and to tell them and vocalize it so that no one has to question how you're feeling, I think that's been very helpful in our relationship. If I do something for Chris, he will say, "Oh my gosh, Mercedes, thanks for doing that. I really appreciate you doing X, Y, Z." And I try and do the same thing for him, even on things that we routinely do.
Yeah, for sure.
I will tell Chris that I don't work nearly as much as Chris works. So I tell him all the time, I really appreciate that you go to work and make this life possible for us. Even though he goes to work all the time, I told him that before, it's important to reiterate every now and again that it hasn't become monotonous, you know what I mean?
I feel that. Number 8.
Spend quality time together. I think when you get into a marriage, you get into these systems and routines that become just so normal. You go to work, you come home. You go to work, you come home.
You go to work, you come home. You go to work, come home.
But you might work all day long, and then you come home and you're doing the same things over and over again. I'm feeding the dog, letting the dogs out, I'm cleaning the house, I'm doing X, Y things. And then when you finally lay down or quiet time together, you're laying down watching Netflix. So you're mindlessly doing something. So I think that having actual quality time where you are intentionally being with the person that you care about, conversing about their day, not in a how was your day? Oh, my day was fine. But in a really intentional conversation, putting your phones away, doing something together, even if that is watching a movie. We have to watch Parks and Rec together or The Office. We crack up the entire time and we're like really intentional about this is our thing that we're doing together. Chris will call the boys and say, hey, I can't get on the game tonight because I'm going to be watching The Office. I got to spend time with my lady. That's what he says.
I got to spend time with my lady. Happy wife, happy life. Number 9. Being open to new things. If y'all know me, if you know, you know. I don't do anything new. You know, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, entering this marriage, you know, Mercedes has opened me to a lot of new things, new dates, you know, new foods. I didn't really like the sushi thing, but she got me right on the right type of sushi. You know what I'm saying? But I guess you just gotta be open to new things, huh, babe?
Chris is not open to new things, and I think it's been positive in our marriage because we've tried to make things that take us out of our comfort zone. And also, Chris and I have been together for 8 years, going on 9 years now.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot of things. I know people say you're always learning about your partner, but I've been involved with my partner's life for the majority of our lives.
Yeah.
At some point, we will know each other soon, longer than we've known ourselves without each other.
Yeah.
So I believe that trying new things is really key in a relationship. Like I've been trying to convince Chris to go out the country with me. If you agree with me, drop a pink heart in the comment. If you agree with Chris that we should not go out the country, drop a black heart.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. # Team Blackheart.
Relationship tip number 10, involve yourself in intimacy. I think that as couples and as young Christian couples, especially in the church, we tend to gloss over this topic of intimacy. Like I know in our marriage counseling, we covered it for like half a second.
Yeah. It's just an uncomfortable conversation.
It really is, but if you're intentional about having a productive marriage and one that is lasting, in my opinion, I think it's important that you cover this topic. Intimacy comes in many forms. There are 5 types of intimacy: emotional, intellectual, experimental, spiritual, and physical intimacy. And they're all important. I think we zone in on physical intimacy and we don't zone in on all the other forms of intimacy that are possible and involved in your marriage. And I think all of them need to be hit on all the time so that you're constantly improving your marriage. I think like an intellectual intimacy, I think, comes from like sharing your ideas. And also think about what would happen if you were not able to complete one form of intimacy. How do you then compensate with the other forms of intimacy? I know we read The Wait before we were getting married because we were abstinent for a year. And it talked about what if you're ever in a position where your partner is not able to be physically intimate with you? Does that then ruin your relationship? Or have you already built a foundation for other types of intimacy so that you don't lose that connection over losing one form of intimacy?
For sure.
Thank you guys for watching. Please be sure to hit that subscribe button, like this video, put the notification bell on. We would love for you to share this with a friend. We're really passionate in this area and we would love to share our love and how we've gotten through things with the world. So we really appreciate you for being here and sticking through this with us. With that being said, peace.